All right, I just moved this section. This was supposed to be a chicken coop, but when I got it, it wasn't like the other two that I got where the poles are super narrow. I didn't feel that it would support the weight of a chicken coop or protect my birds. So I need just some tarp coverage type housing temporarily until I can get something built for my boys. My boys are getting moved out of this pen and they're getting moved over here. The girls can't squeeze through this fencing because it's horse fencing. No, it's not stretched. No, it's not the best in the world, but I've got to use what I've got and what I can afford at the moment because thanks to Biden, can't afford shit. So I am making do with what I have because it's costing me close to $2,000 to feed these animals once a month. Or $2,000 a month to feed these guys. But people ask me how I get things done by myself. Well, I make them freaking happen. Thing is originally I was going to be doing a garden for the animals over there. But then I stuck all of that hay from the goat pens in there thinking mulch. Then somebody was like, hey, you realize they put grazon on hay and it will kill all the vegetables that you try to plant. So I just said, forget it. So I've decided to use it as a boys pen. And then over here, I'm going to move 2 of my pigs. It's going to be a pen for Whiskey and Daisy temporarily. Eventually, they'll get moved out of here, and I will have pins over there when I can afford to buy fencing, and it's not $5,000. But not literally, but so I'm going to try to bungee cord this thing to a pole so you can see. All right, I accidentally hit the button. So I am showing you how you get a big metal structure through a little tiny gate hole by yourself. So y'all can laugh at me when I do this. This is how I get things done by myself. All right. Life is like Tetris. All right, so All right, so hopefully you saw what I did. I literally had to maneuver that big structure through this opening like a game of Tetris, wiggling and finagling, because I'm not strong enough to lift it up and over the fence, and I was afraid that the poles would bend if I did that. So this metal frame is going to be just like that. I am going to put a tarp over the top of it. I am going to put some T-posts into the ground so that way it won't get knocked over in a windstorm. And then I am going to get the big long fence pickets that are 1x6s and probably a 2x4s, and I will build sidewalls on this that will come up to about here. This will give it some structure, some sturdiness. This front side will be left open. Tarp will be over the top. I'll do it on the back, so that way they have protection on 3 sides, like a shed, kind of like what I did with the pallets and the tarp over there. It gives them a dry, safe place. I have to worry about anything other than rain right now. We are in April. I have got until December. If I need to, I can take this and build a wall halfway through and put a 4x4 in and bury it, and then put a wall so that there's 4 sides with just an opening on the one side. The reason I turned it around and left it wide open is because my boys, them boys, love to rub their horns on everything. So I know if I turned it the other way around and used the doorway as an opening, they'd rub against it and potentially break the frame. Like I said, this frame isn't the greatest. It's not super sturdy. It's very wobbly, but it will provide temporary protection from rain. Plus, it's got the oak tree over the top, so it'll give them potential protection. Now, what was it? 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were 5 metal bars that were attached here to make that a 3-section, kind of like that over there. Kind of like, let's see if it'll zoom. And that's all wrapped in tarps too from winter. I haven't unwrapped it. Right now I've got geese in there that are broody and nesting, so I'm not even going to mess with that because they're psycho. But that is completely wrapped in tarp. It's not fancy. Wood is way expensive. I got to do with what I can afford. My main thing is to make sure that my animals are getting the best food and they're getting vaccinated and medications and things like that. It's more important than having something fancy at the moment. I eventually want to build more sheds like that. And that's what I plan on doing. And I plan on dividing this whole section into, I can divide it into total of 7 if I do them 16 feet wide by 50 feet long. I think it was 50, might be 60 feet long. But I'm putting the pigs over here instead of over here because the pigs can't break or lift up the cattle panel because of it being wired to the T-posts. This, they can take their snouts underneath of it and push it and then crawl underneath. The goats, on the other hand, won't do that. They're not as clever as the pigs. So this here is going to be my temporary buck pen. Eventually the bucks will get moved back in here, but until then they will hear Daisy and little chick. Daisy and Whiskey will go in here into this big pen. And I will she's so preggo, but She's jacking with Zeffy. And that's Apollo. He's a castrated male. Oh, we getting tongue action over here. Ivy's like, whatever, dude. I just want to stick my head through the fence and try to see if you have any food in your pans. Big old prego girl. She's due here in about 2 weeks. And I'll probably move all of my buckling kids and my weathered kids in with Daisy and Whiskey over here, because I need that pen freed up, because like I said, here in about 2 to 3 weeks, Ivy and Blossom are due to kid. And I didn't think either one of them had taken, but they did. Yeah, she big old prego girl. That's who I bred her to. Apollo is the father. I cannot wait to see what their kids look like. Pan's one of Apollo's kids. Pan's his first son born, and he is a little beast. He's out of Juniper, Ivy's twin sister. So he turned real pretty. He's a pretty chocolate and white spotted monster of sweet love. He's a sweet love. Oh, I know. He's the sweetest boy in the world. He's my shadow and my pain in my butt. Hi, Ivy. So, that is my plans. I know this fence needs to be stretched, and it should have wood posts for corners and all of that, but it's technically a temporary fence. I don't want to use this fencing as permanent fencing. I want cattle panels because they hold up. Goats, as you can see, look at them. Goats are rough on fencing, and you need something that's strong and rigid. My plans are to replace T-posts on all of my fencing with wood panel, or not with wood panel, with 4x4s in the future. And then have white, what I really like to do is buy hog panel, or I really like to buy the horse panel, but that's $100 for a 16-foot section, and that would be way expensive. So in the future, that is what I would like to do. I would like to replace it with the horse panel, which I got for my kidding pins. And hey, Daisy. Whiskey's not happy because he got separated from Harley. Harley's not happy because he got separated from Whiskey. Daisy's not happy. She wants to be with Hugo. Hugo, he doesn't seem to care too much, but I'm sure he honks at her a lot and calls to her. But Whiskey doesn't really like Hugo and gets kind of snotty with him and just didn't trust Hugo. And Whiskey, yep, because that's what he wants, is a fat baby goat on his back. Hugo and Whiskey not getting along. I didn't want them in a small pen together. Harley is a total teddy bear. I kind of prefer to have Harley with Daisy in the future for kidding. Are you going to have kids? She says, no, I'm going to have piglets. When she has piglets, I think Harley will be more tolerant than Whiskey. But when I put Hugo in with her, and it'll be a year before I do any breeding. She's only like 7 months old. He's only 4 or 5 months old. Anyway, when I put them together to breed, then Whiskey and Harley will get put back together. But because of her companion passing away from pneumonia, Petunia, she doesn't have a companion. Hugo was supposed to live with the 2 boys, and then Daisy was supposed to have female friends and be in a pen with another female. And then the whole replacement situation was a massive clusterfuck. And I kind of got pissed off and said, forget it. Just get me the registration papers for these 2 pigs, which the DNA, UC Davis said that they never received the DNA test. Now I've got the Cooney Association involved, and the president of the Cooney Association is involved now to get the registrations on these 2 pigs. It's become an absolute headache. Hey, Andy. I got a group of ducks that have been living in here. One of my Welsh Harlequins. I've got 2 of my black Swedish, a female and a male in here. And then Andy. Andy's the one that has the bad leg, and the turkeys keep chasing him. Look at this damn coat. Keeps chasing him, which made his leg worse. He's doing pretty good right now, but he still gets stumbly. So he gets to live in the flower, stumbly. He gets to stay in the flower garden. He's got food, and he's got grass, and he's got a couple of friends. He'd rather be with the geese, but the 2 females are broody right now, so they would kick his butt anyhow. I know, Andy. Hi, Andy. I know, buddy. I know, Andy. I know. Careful. I know, Andy. He's a sweet goose. Goaty acrobats. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm slipping. He didn't want to go into the pen with his mom, so now he's stuck out here for the night. They're at weaning age. Look at him. What a goober. They're at weaning age, so tomorrow them and the 2 pigs will get moved over here, and the weaning will begin. Mom, it will be separated. I'm thinking about putting Pan in there with them too, so they have at least an older goat. He's pretty feisty. But I don't know. Junie may not like that. Junie is very attached to her son. So, but I'd like to put them all in there tomorrow, and that way I'd have my babies, and then I can get this pen cleaned out and ready for my, I guess you could call it late spring kidding. What do you think? I don't want to see my face. Oh yes, let's kick Mom, because you know that gets us everywhere. Goofy goat. Oh boy. We got some Tom showing off for a female over here. I've got 2 broody turkeys in there, 2 broody geese in there. I've got 2 batches of my chicks that are now fully feathered out here with these 2. They're so cute when they eat hay. See? She wants in there with her bubba, but I have found out that not only could there be an accidental breeding, which I knew that if a gilt and a boar are raised together, they will form a friendship and they won't breed. And people have not been able to breed pigs because they become too bonded to the boar. So it's another reason why I want to get her separated into a pen farther away from him. They are not going to stay in there permanently. Right now I'm getting them to bond, and Harley needs to lose some weight. He's getting too much scratch off the ground from when I feed the chickens. So he needs to lose some poundage. He's gotten too fat. So he's on a diet, and I need them 2 to bond. And Whiskey seems to like Daisy, so we'll see how it goes. We'll get them moved into their own pen and get everybody situated tomorrow. I need to order some sun sails for them, and we'll go from there and see how it goes. So, I'm hopping off of here. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Sorry, this is going to be a super long video, but I just thought you'd like to see me trying to finagle a weird shaped object through a narrow opening. Y'all have a great day. Bye.